Well, I believe this is a old logging road at one time. Not really 100% sure. But I'm driving down the highway. Got my bear spray. Saw this area, it's beautiful. There's very little wind. The rain has stopped for a few minutes, so I thought I'd take a chance and share another experience with you. Again, I'd like to thank you for watching my video today. If this is your first time at Rocky Mountain Grace, welcome. Glad to have you here. I'll tell you a little bit about our channel. Basically, I made this YouTube channel a couple months ago. And what I do is I share experiences that people had with their faith in God, prayers that maybe were answered, difficulties they overcome due to their faith, that they were able to overcome due to their faith. And I just like sharing these with people. And I ask that if you have an experience that you would email it to me at rockymountaingrace@gmail.com. That description, that email address will be at the bottom of the video. But I would ask that if you have an experience that you'd like to share, because these experiences really do strengthen people. And with the way the world is right now, I think we can all use a gentle reminder, a gentle push to remember that God is always with us, and that all you have to do is ask, and you'll receive the strength and the comfort that you need. So the first one today, this is a pretty interesting one. I really like this one. It's about a man who slowly came to realize that alcohol was taking over his life and keeping him from the things that were of the most importance to him. Obviously his family and his faith in God. And the changes that made in his life, actually leading him to the ministry, and his wife, led his wife to the ministry as well. So there we are. Working as a horse auctioneer isn't a job for Steve Friskup. It's his passion. He also loves calf roping and spending time with his wife, Robin. But years ago, Steve's favorite activities were overshadowed by his love for alcohol. I was never a guy who could just have one drink. If I had one, I had to have two. If I had two, I had to have 12. If I had 12, then sometime in the night, I was going to become rich, handsome, and bulletproof, all at the same time. Steve had his first drink at just 9 years of age. His parents were Christians, but alcohol was a big part of their lifestyle, and always available in his home. Later, as an adult, Steve discovered alcohol gave him something he had always longed for. It made me liked. It made me popular. It made me fit in. I may not rope as good as anybody. I may not have as much money as anybody else. But if we're at the bar, you're going to like me. That's just how it is. That need for that attention or something. But the alcohol didn't just make Steve popular. It turned him into a man he barely knew. He says, anything that alters the way a man thinks and alters his morality, it can't be good. Alcohol somehow demoralized me. I could see it getting worse and worse. It just dumbed me down to a guy that I didn't want to be. Every time I sobered up, I didn't want to be that guy. That's not who I wanted to be, and I knew it. Money was a big one. I could spend money on the dumbest stuff. I could buy drinks for everybody. I could gamble. Just do dumb stuff with money you didn't have to. And money you didn't have. And then you go home, and you're trying to keep the lights on for your wife and your little kids, and you just spent all the stupid money, just making really bad decisions. Steve's drinking affected his family the most. I used language that a man should be crucified for in front of my children. It wasn't abusive, I was just vulgar. It's no good. It was just no good. Tell you the worst one, I've got 2 daughters, and one of them has never had a drink that I know of. Pretty sure not. The oldest one can't say that, because her daddy gave her her first drink. Little girls should have never been given her only taste of alcohol in her life from her father. That's stupid. That's just stupid. That's what alcohol did for me. After partying one night with a friend, Steve woke up with a hangover and a revelation. He was finally tired of his drunken lifestyle. I got up that morning and I was sick with a capital sick. It was bad. It was like he hit me right in the forehead with a chopping axe. I didn't have any money left and just laid there in that bed, and I thought, now I've got to put my game face on and go auctioneer this horse sale and pretend like I'm fine. And I'm not fine, I told my friend. I said, I'm not drinking no more. Oh, they kidded me. They told everybody. They laughed at me and they picked on me all weekend. But Steve was serious about his new commitment. He just didn't know how to keep it. On the ride home after the horse auction, he decided to talk to God. That night I called on Jesus for some odd reason. Nobody told me how to pray this prayer. I just called on Jesus and I met him. You know the first thing that the Lord spoke to me? He said, "What do you want?" I said, "Lord, I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good dad. I don't want to do another thing away from home that I'm ashamed to tell my family of when I get back. Alcohol has turned me loose to be an idiot, and I don't want it anymore. I want to be rid of it right now." He said, "If you'll give me all of it, I'll get rid of it." And I said, "I'm all yours." It moves me every time how awesome it is for a guy like me in a cab of a pickup to have all of your sins forgiven. Heaven is part of the deal, but I don't think people realize, unless you've been an old sinner, what it means to be sitting in the cab of a truck and have God tell you that your sins are all forgiven. He drove home that night and began a new life. He began reading his Bible and going to church with his family. It was pretty amazing when you pull up in your house and you tell your family, "Get up, we're going to church. I've just become saved." You don't even know what that means. They must have thought I snorted something up my nose or something like that and went crazy. Steve says he hasn't had a drop of alcohol since then. The fear of the Lord will make a man hate evil. And I've grown. I've got to where I just despise evil. I've gotten that way about the alcohol because it was so dangerous in my life and I didn't know it. Now the first cup home is peaceful, and Steve makes strong decisions for his family. He and Robin are pastors of Muleshoe Cowboy Church in Texas. It's just what God will do. We run horse sales with grown men walking around telling each other they love each other. That's just crazy. That ain't how that goes, but that's what God will do. What an amazing story. Again, a few people have emailed me and asked me where I got these stories, because sometimes I don't think they believe it's true that I've made them up. But go on the internet and look these up. I've done it. I verify everything before I tell it to you, to the best I can anyhow. But I hope you enjoyed that one. An amazing experience for a man whose life completely changed. Never had a drink of alcohol again. And then went home, told his family, and as he says, his family has totally changed, never been the same. Much better life. Well, I will zoom in just to show you what's down there. But again, I'd like to thank you for joining us today at Rocky Mountain Grace. Please, if you have an experience that you'd like to share, like the one this cowboy just did, an answered prayer, or just how your faith has helped you overcome some difficult obstacles in your life, please share them. I know it takes a little bit of time, but 15 minutes, sit down in front of the computer, write it down, and let me share it. You don't know who your story might affect, whose life it might change. So please, send your stories in. I would appreciate it greatly. Have a good one, and may God continue to bless you and yours. Bye now. See, I don't know how much I can zoom in on this, but it's such a beautiful area. The funny part is I just left a spot, 5 miles down the road, that had 3 feet of snow on the ground. And here, because of the protection of the trees, obviously there isn't as much, but it's so beautiful. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day. Bye now.